Big Bone. This could be a question to you, Invader, Shaggy, Dirty Tank, and this came from the chat room from Leather Girl. Question: what are clubs doing to police each other, i.e. shootings and drugs? Politicians, communities will not tolerate drugs or bullets flying around kids. That was from inside.
None of our business. None of our business. It ain't our business.
What the fuck, man? Uh-oh. We're all good guys. I don't know what she's talking about. What she's talking about.
Well, I mean, this is the shit right here that could stop this show right now, because that's talking interclub politics right there, and I promise you your question is probably genuine, but this is not the forum for that at all. We can't talk about. I won't talk about it at all, because I'm gonna tell you right now, like we said on Friday, I have a nation and my brothers to protect as well as my own life. Okay, clubs stick to their own issues. I'll tell you what, clubs do police themselves, but the media and the outsiders, you stay the fuck out of it. We'll figure it out. If law enforcement would just leave us alone, things will get figured out a lot faster.
Man, let me throw this out here on top of that. So I mentioned the sheriff a little bit earlier, and I pointed out how we have a sheriff where I live that hates bikers, and it's a big area, and he hates us, and is what it is. But one of the things is when there was a certain well-known biker 3 years ago that was murdered. That don't happen a whole hell of a lot down here, but it did happen. He used this as an opportunity to start to get back on his soapbox and start screaming about how horrible bikers were and all this other stuff. Well, here's what one of my main focuses in the COC was to dictate our own narrative, as opposed to letting this cop or some news channel or somebody who doesn't care for bikers. We dictate what our narrative is. We don't let them do it. And the truth of the matter
is, wouldn't happen to be that Volusia County lieutenant that was sitting next, him.
No, it's
calling everybody. He was calling everybody domestic terrorists down in Daytona or some shit like that.
Yeah, we got a couple of them like that. The guy I was speaking about specifically is a guy named Chris Nacco. He's in. He's
Let me write that down.
Chris Nacco.
I'm gonna go after his ass.
Oh yeah. Oh, you ain't heard the half of it. The way we understand is that he's been under investigation for himself for the past couple of years, RICO investigations and everything else. But in the meantime, one of the things that a very well-known biker was murdered. He knew that it was going to happen because he had snitches on the inside. This is common. This ain't even like a conspiracy theory. This is common knowledge.
It's documented.
Oh yeah, it's very much documented. A lot of folks know about it. But the other thing is, so after this guy was murdered, he went on television on every channel that there is down here, saying, well, bikers are bad people and bad things happen to bad people, and he got what he deserved and all of this other kind of stuff. And I'm going to do my job as sheriff to make sure that we get rid of these. I mean, he just went on and on and on. But anyway, the thing is that this guy, for anybody who didn't know any better, they would hear this sheriff saying all this bad stuff about all these bad bikers, and they'll co-sign it, they'll believe it. But the truth of the matter is that the truth is something real different, and it's not his job to say who we are. But since he did, now it becomes our responsibility to say who the hell we are, and to let folks know, our community, our MC community, and everybody else understand that, hey, this is this one guy saying this stuff. And by the way, the reason he did it is because of money. Because after that particular biker got killed, this guy broke out, and I'm not even exaggerating, armored personnel carriers, tanks, helicopters, you name it, he had it.
Created his own task force.
Yeah, well, what we understand now is that it was budget time. He had to spend a whole bunch of money so the next year he could get at least that much money again and say, oh, man, I need more money. I got this biker problem, so you guys have to give me a lot more money to deal with this biker problem. It was all bullshit. It was all done for money, and the guy's a scumbag, and I hate him. Oh, shit. Did I say that out loud?
Hey, man. The police job is to investigate. It's the 12 jurors' job to convict us. And they got that shit flipped around right now. They want to be the judge, jury, and executioner, and they wonder why we dislike them so much. Well, goddamn it, your job is to catch me. My job is not to get caught, and if I get caught, it's in 12 people of my peers that's supposed to convict my ass.
That part.
It's simple.
That part.
Well, I mean, I remember back in the day, Hollywood did a story about a club up here in Wisconsin that was getting hassled by a local sheriff. Basically, they were pulling
I went
everybody
after
over.
him.
Yeah. And you had him on the show, and he fucking tried to, downplay what he was doing, this, that, and the other thing, and Abe got involved. So he's basically pulling over bikers for loud exhaust. And, I mean, he's just harassing people, And it was all politically motivated. It was during an election year, and blah, blah, blah. So when I hear somebody like, that leather girl or whatever ask that question, how do we police ourselves? It's like, we police ourselves by just being good fucking brothers to one another. Nobody wants to bring heat onto the clubhouse. Nobody wants to bring heat onto the club. And the shit you see in the news and everything, 9 times out of 10, it's so fucking over-exaggerated, it's not even funny. Back in the day when I was a nobody, if I hit a guy in the bar, it was no big fucking deal. If I hit a guy in the bar now, local biker gang terrorizes bar establishment.
And it's on video.
That's
and it's on video.
Well, to give context to leather guru, he's in the chat room, BD, with what Big Bone 1% was saying. You have this Pasco County sheriff he's talking about sending letters to people with criminal histories, and he's causing a big fuss down there. He's also going around about his political connections to the governor down there. He seems like one of those guys out of, what was that, Arizona? He has a freaking bone to pick. And you guys got to, remember that, leather girl, is that their budgets, and I talk about this on my show all the time, the budgets of these police departments are made on making the general public scared. They need the boogeyman, is what they need. And if you look into some of the federal stuff with, when they're taking your property away, all that kind of stuff, you're looking at a big business there. And finally, what I would say is, when I do the biker news, look at the wall of shame. Everything you think that a 1%er does or a biker does, I can find 10 cops that are doing the same freaking thing.
Well, and on
Hollywood.
that note, hold on one second, Big Bone.
No, good.
I didn't mean to come off to that person like, hey, but I'm sick of civilians trying to get into clubs business. They want to know what are we doing about it, what we do. It ain't none of their business what we're doing about it. And it's time for, us to get back to that, keeping our business out of the public's eye, keeping ourselves off front page news. And I'm one of those that's very stringent about that. I was taught that a long time ago. Shit. I don't agree with any of the killings and the shootings and shit like that. I really don't. But it does happen. I mean, I'm not going to say our lifestyle ain't violent, but what I am going to say is it shouldn't be out in the mainstream. Other clubs shouldn't worry about what other clubs are doing to police themselves. They should mind their own business, police their own club. 1%, they should be worried about what 1%ers are doing. We will handle our own business. 1%ers are very professional when it comes to shit like that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings or I'll come off too brash. The whole world's got to be PC, but hey, I'm Shaggy. I don't give a shit. It's none of your business. I'm sorry.